seems a little odd to add sleep to this area of the brain because it's a temporary state of unconsciousness. So everything else was about consciousness, and now this is looking at unconsciousness. How did this get into this part? So as we're looking at this, okay, why do you think sleep is important to the cerebrum? Well, we definitely need a break. But guess what's happening during sleep? Nate?
Is it healing?
Well, now, as sleep occurs, it does allow certain processes in the body to occur to like help repair cells and stuff like that, and that would include the brain. This is the time that you're going to take all that information that was being brought in by the parts that were that brainstem, cerebrum, that sort of thing, stuff that we weren't aware of, and then stuff that we tried to teach it or learn or make sense of actually gets to happen. Sleep is important to making the memories, making sense of information, learning, cognition, all that sort of stuff. It occurs in what's called circadian rhythms. It has a stereotyped posture, doesn't change a whole lot from person to person. We do get across the board inhibition of muscular activity, and it's going to occur in stages. There are 4 stages, and the first one is simply where you're first beginning to fall asleep. You're drowsy, eyes are starting to close, and you're getting all comfy, but it's also at this point that you can be awakened rather easily. Something can make you wake up and can actually be startling, a little bit. Stage 2 is what we consider light sleep. Usually something wakes you up at this point. It is startling. It's usually like, what? At this point. Stage 3. This is our moderate to deep sleep. Usually should occur roughly about 20 minutes after stage 1. This is the point where hopefully the muscles have relaxed. Your vital signs begin to fall, meaning temperature drops, respiration drops, heartbeat drops, all right? And then, if we're lucky, get stage 4, all right? Where we're very relaxed, vital signs are at their lowest levels. They shouldn't, that's about as low as they're going to go. Very difficult to wake us up. Okay, it usually takes a lot, like somebody shaking you or something. Over a period of time for the night, okay? And roughly, like, how much sleep do they recommend we get? They say 8 hours, all right? Does anybody in here get that?
No.
But you really should try. Mainly because of how important it is to the body. It is so important that the body gets to do these cycles. Hopefully, you cycle about 3 to 4 times throughout the night, basically going back to stage 2. Now, we do have the part of the sleep that's called REM, the rapid eye movement. This is at the point when dreams occur. Should be very difficult to wake someone up during this time, very deep sleep usually. And, hopefully get to go through these cycles throughout a night. What can happen if people don't get to say, for example, reach, deep sleep, and REM? Hmm?
She said hallucination.
They can go crazy. Yes, it can become psychotic. A person can become psychotic. Yeah. So it's very important to get the deep sleep. So the 8 hours, okay, is a very good thing to get. Anything else that can be associated with not getting proper sleep? Well, yeah, we're cranky. But,
You're gonna get drowsy later on.
hmm
You're gonna fall asleep some other time.
well, it can make you be drowsy. Other times when might not be appropriate, like behind the wheel. It's not letting the body repair, which is very important. So the sleep, even though it's our state of unconsciousness, it's important to this area of the brain. The other reason for that it's important to this area of the brain is because this is the time that we are going to this is the time that the brain learns. When we sleep, okay, and like for example, right now in class, we're getting all this new information coming at us. Hopefully, you guys want to learn it because this is what you're going to use for tests that you've got to take and use as the basis for the programs that you're going into. But wait a minute. I heard a bunch of you say you don't get your 8 hours of sleep. Why? Are you up trying to study? Are you working? Do you have these other things that just don't want to go to sleep? Or
Traffic.
it was bad this morning. But in the grand scheme of things, what's the best way for you to learn? Everybody always asks me, what is the best way to learn? Well, now we have different ways of learning. Like some of us more visual, some are more auditory, that sort of thing. How could you take all of that and incorporate it and learn?
Would it be like to study it, then as soon as you do it, just go to sleep?
Well, okay, can I use this right here? Okay, so this right here is the study guide that I posted on Canvas. You can see that she modified it like I suggested. Now, the best way to learn, first of all, write with a red pen. Yes. You want to know why? Of the colors that we can see on the electromagnetic spectrum, we can see 2 shades of red.
But growing up, in school, they told us we couldn't use red pen.
Don't ask my opinion on that one. Okay. That was someone putting their own personal emphasis on something, and it's anyway. So trust me on this. Red is the best color to take notes with. And as we're talking, as we're reading, talking is covering my auditory, reading would be covering visual. As you are writing, you are doing something kinesthetic, okay? And not only are you doing that, you now have the visual, because red is going to stand out to you because we see the two colors of it. We don't see two shades of any other color on the electromagnetic spectrum, but we see two of red. You're now looking, you're listening, you're seeing, you're writing, you're training the brain. Now, what it needs to do when you go to sleep, that's when every single piece of that sensory information that you just gave it gets to consolidate. And chances are the brain is going to allow you to connect it together, and you have learned it.
Does reading out loud to yourself count for the auditory?
Yeah, that can count as the auditory, yes. So people always ask me, and that's the best way to learn. There's reason that they said in earlier schools to stop using the red.
They don't want to.
So, we have to take this. We have to connect it. Sleep allows it to consolidate. So, how we're going to acquire and use the knowledge is cognition, which is learning. Association areas, these parts of the brain that are going to help with sensory information. All right, we're going to see that they're going to help us to understand the sensory information. It's going to help us with thought. It's going to help us with reasoning, making sense of it, the judgment, right or wrong, memory, do I need to associate anything else with it? Do I need to associate a sound or sight or smell or taste? And it helps with our imagination. How many times do we use our imagination nowadays? And our intuition. That is because as we're growing up, we're being taught. Okay? And believe it or not, stuff that we're being taught is going to come into play in making or learning something. Memory, this is going to be a cognitive function, a learning function, that is going to occur in many different areas of the brain, not just the cerebrum and association areas. Because memory is a very complex process that occurs. The reason that if a certain area of the brain is damaged, you don't remember stuff, because of the memory that may have been associated with that area. Brain injury is a big reason that a lot of times memory can be affected. Sometimes it could be memory that is long-term, sometimes it's short-term. What was that movie? 50 First Dates? And the 10-second timer?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I mean, that was like none, based on the brain injury he had. So we usually refer to it as amnesia. The types are called retrograde or anterograde. Retro to the, that's like